Dr. John Michael Grogan is a worldwide best-selling author and speaker. In this series, The Secrets for Winning, Dr. John Michael will help you position yourself for success by achieving greater purpose, significance, and exceptionalism. Now, here's Dr. John Michael Grogan.
Hello. Today, I'd like to tell you about the secrets of winning. Actually, they're not secrets at all, but universal laws that apply to all people equally everywhere at all times, and have since the dawn of human history. Successful people work in harmony with these laws. Those who fail to fall like an egg from a tall chicken. Most of the world's great societies have progressed from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from great courage to liberty, liberty to abundance, abundance to selfishness, selfishness to complacency, complacency to apathy, apathy to dependency, and from dependency back again into bondage, all within the span of 200 years. All of these great societies broke one or more of these universal laws. They paid for it by a bridge of groans across a stream of tears, as English poet P.J. Bailey put it. Here we are, decades beyond our bicentennial, living in a land so rich and bountiful that the lowest of our middle class are numbered among the top 8% of the world's wealth. How is it, then, that so many people go plodding on through silent pain, never seeming to get any higher on the mountain of life, finding themselves on the same level decade after decade, no closer to the summit and fulfillment at 60 than they were in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, destined, it seems, to die terminally frustrated or perplexed about life? It's not as if these people set out to fail, for we all have dreams, hopes, and plans for success. When I had a real estate office, I interviewed hundreds of sales candidates, and not one ever told me that it was their burning ambition in life to be the biggest failure their family ever produced. Why then? How does it happen? It can be the result of breaking civil laws, moral laws, or spiritual laws. But one reason has to be conformity. We are all born unique, but sadly, most people will die copies. The actor Cary Grant once said, "Everyone wants to be Cary Grant. Even I want to be Cary Grant." Many of us are trying to be someone or something we are not, and never will be. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Wishful thinking is one of our besetting sins." It is a rare person that does not delude themselves in some way. If you see the masses heading in a certain direction, you can be sure that you should be heading in exactly the opposite direction, for the masses are almost always headed in the wrong direction. Numbers never determine what is right. This herd instinct causes people to avoid using their brain to do hard thinking. Most people just don't give too much thought about where it is they're going in life. I recently overheard a man telling his friend, "I used to be lost in the shuffle. Now I just shuffle along with the lost." These people believe in que sera, sera. What will be, will be. They're convinced they have little or no influence over their own lives. They feel like the passengers when the pilot announced that the plane's compass had failed and they weren't sure in what direction they were heading. But not to worry, there was a strong tailwind and they were making excellent time. There is more to life than the tyranny of the urgent. As I said earlier, we all want to succeed. But what is success? What does it look like to you? How would you describe it? If we aren't sure of what it looks like or where we're going, well, it's like the man buying an airline ticket who, when asked where he wanted to go, replied, "Oh, anywhere." Is your idea of success the accumulation of wealth, living in a nice home, driving the latest model luxury automobile? One of the best definitions I've heard is that success isn't necessarily what we've done in life, but how we've done it and what we've left behind. The man who dies rich and leaves a wealthy estate to a son or daughter, but ill-equipped to deal with the true priorities in life, can't be considered successful by any means. The highest levels of achievement in life are reserved for those less concerned about what they get from their labor than what they become by it. Sadly, many people are like the blindfolded man in a dark room looking for a black cat that just isn't in there. They learn the wisdom of the Swedish proverb, too soon old, too late smart, after their vitality is spent. Whether our benchmark for success is education, the amount of personal wealth or possessions we accumulate, or as some measure it by spiritual growth, one thing is unmistakably true. We don't drift to success, but without a goal which brings a disciplined focus to our life, we most assuredly will drift to failure. There are certain attributes that all truly successful people have in common, and it's these attributes I want to share with you today. All effective people believe in the importance of having goals. Now, most of us start off with good intentions, but those destined for the pantheon of greatness write out their goals because they know that writing causes us to think in clear, specific terms. You can't be vague when putting your thoughts down on paper. Living life without a well-thought-out goal to get us to a clearly defined destination is like the man who became lost while driving and sped up in hopes of finding himself. He didn't find himself, he just got lost in a wider area. By the streets of by and by, Miguel de Cervantes said, one arrives at the house of never. There are two ways to get to the top of an oak tree. We can sit on an acorn, or we can plan how to climb the thing. This is one reason why there is so much unhappiness today. People sitting around waiting for things to change in their life, rather than planning and setting goals to achieve success. Living life without a plan or goal is not living at all. It's only a ticket to the street where the broken-hearted and disappointed live. Highly productive people use goals that are SMART. That is, their goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-designated. Without a specific goal, we begin to major in the minors. We become preoccupied with the trivial many rather than the vital few. I had salespeople who would waste 80% of their time with clients or customers that accounted for only 20% of their business, rather than investing their time with the 20% base that represented 80% of their business. Goals need to be measurable, so we have constant feedback engaging our progress against a standard of performance. Goals must be attainable, otherwise we never experience the feeling of viva yo, hooray for me, I'm doing it. We never enjoy the feeling of winning. This robs us of hope. And living life without hope, Merle Shane points out in her book, Some Men Are More Perfect Than Others, is merely housekeeping. It's just moving the dust around. In order for goals to work, they must be relevant. They must relate to our end game, the prize we're really after. And we must honestly ask ourselves, is that prize really worth the cost? For there is no success at bargain basement prices. And goals must be time designated. Too much time allowed in reaching our goal results in procrastination. Oh, I've got time, we think, but delay can be deadly. Too little time allowed in reaching our goal, and we put ourselves under needless stress. Goals bring a discipline to our life. Without disciplined motivation, we lose our ability to deal with the future. We begin to function based on our feelings and emotions. We take the line of least resistance and settle for short-range profits rather than long-term gains. The Bible says a person without discipline is like a city whose walls are broken down. Remember, we become what we think about. This wonderful computer we call a brain that comes as standard equipment at birth is like fertile soil. It gives back in rich abundance whatever we plant there. Positive expectations produce positive results. A strong focus helps us to persevere, and it's by perseverance, Charles Spurgeon, the great English Baptist preacher, said, the snail reached the ark. The laurel wreaths go to those who finish well, not to those who begin well. All great endings have small beginnings. Focus and perseverance are two of the keys.
So until we meet again, this is John Michael Grogan saying, be strong, be bold, be courageous.
Thanks for listening to Dr. John Michael Grogan's On Point on OneBigOne.fm and the Podcast BIG network. To contact Dr. Grogan, send an email to groganman@tds.net. If you like what you heard today and want to learn more, visit 615jmg.com and subscribe today. And as always, stay tuned to OneBigOne.fm and the Podcast BIG network.